Looks like he's moving. Yeah, it killed the software.
Damn it, I swear to God.
I changed the spring out from this. 1 amp isn't enough. I'm thinking maybe I need more. And then that way that will drive just the relays. What I think I'm gonna do is just dump this. Oh, you gotta be f***ing kidding me, dude. It's something, all right. Just need to figure out how to hold this thing on the head. Okay, so to secure the helmet to the head, I attached a spring. It's right here. Goes all the way under and then clips onto the other side. It's really on there now. I just can't see this thing coming off. Maybe I'll add the belt back as just decoration. Okay, so I loaded up the prop controller program and modified it and actually came up with a whole new routine. I'm gonna try that out, and the goal on this one is to keep the guy from going around forward, and it should be very robotic because I just copied and pasted sections just to see what I can have happen here, just for a test. I still have the old program saved, so I can always go back to that one. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. So I'm missing one all the way back, but you can see it's pretty even. This head I'm gonna have to glue down with some liquid nails. Well, I think that gives me a really good idea of how long things need to be to move this guy, because he went this way and now he's perfectly back that way. I don't necessarily like that routine. I like the other one better. It gives me a better idea of what to do though. The other thing that I learned about this is about how long I need to have that relay shut off to stop the momentum. I think I've got it pretty good here. It's 6 little ticks on the software, whatever that amounts to. It could even go a little bit longer. It's not very noticeable. This looks like he's moving. Yeah, it killed the software. I mean, that killed the thing again. It's that back and forth that's the problem. So if I go half that length back and forth, it'll be just right. So I divide those sections in half. Hopefully we can get that worked out. Why don't I just stop talking about it and go fix it? Oh, that's the problem. The springs come off. So that's part of the issue for sure. Yep, your spring has come off there, buddy. Oh my God. I need this guy to move forward. I can't do it.
This shit is ridiculous. There's the hole in the shirt. Stop being a little prick. Well, I put these springs on so well I can't get them off now. Damn it, I swear to God. What the f***?
And that instantly came out, didn't it? You piece of shit spring. All right, so I changed the spring out from this to something quite a bit bigger. Similar to this one here around his head. Same size. It's giving a better result. This is him now at full forward, where he was leaning way forward before. So this is keeping him from coming all the way out here. And still the motor dies anyway, the circuit dies. So the spring is probably putting too much torque on the motor. Boy, I'm just failing at every turn on this thing. I wonder what it would look like if I just let it go around in circles. Should try that for the next test. Just let it go in circles. As this is getting old. Everything I'm trying is just not working. I think you have it and then test again and it breaks. So that's frustrating. At least with the spring, when it does work, I don't really care about where it ends up because it looks fine. So I'm gonna get my laptop down here, and I recall seeing at Jason Becker's video and also in reading the documentation that you can do like a button banger type thing with the software while the thing is running. So at least I think you can. I know you can hit like 1, 2, 3, and 4 and it'll record. I'll show you guys later. Easier to show you than try to explain it. So what I'm gonna do with this head also to keep it stationary is drill a hole in the back and then put in some kind of plastic tubing or something that will allow the screw to go through, maybe a screw with a washer, and then I can screw right into this PVC, and hopefully that will hold the head stationary while not eating away at the foam here, not, you know, making it chip away as the thing does motion. Imagine like this, if I had a bolt this big, shoving that in there, putting the screw through there, and then having that go into this. It only has to be this long, right to the center, to make contact with that, and that allow me to easily take this thing off when I need to service it, which at this point looks like it's going to be a lot of times. I hope not. Okay, so the weight is still causing the circuit to die. So I think I'm going to fix all that with the prop controller software. I'm going to get my laptop down here, hook it up to the Arduino, and I'll be able to really finesse the movement exactly the way I want it. All right, so I brought my laptop here down into the basement. This is why you're seeing the screen looking like this instead of the normal screen capture. I was on the Han forums and I was asking Mike North, the guy who invented this prop controller project, if there was a way to have the software control the Arduino controller and send the data to the relays and have the whole project, the whole scene execute while controlling it in real time, and surprisingly there is. And this would be the same way as if I had built the button banger portion of the project, which I didn't do, which I think I will do for all future endeavors here with this thing, because I think it would be invaluable in this situation. And basically what that is just a little control board with 4 buttons on it that you can just tap, so that you don't even need a computer to do it, at least not the programming part. And that would be ideal in this situation, but there is a way to do it with the software, and I think I need to connect to the port first, which I know is COM37 for whatever reason. Idiotic. So I'm connected, and once I hit this, you can see this little pop-up says send played states to controller in real time. Hitting this allows whatever I trigger here to go to the prop controller. If I run the sequence, it should go, but I am having a problem. I've had it twice already. Hopefully that's not going to happen again, but let's find out here. All right, and it died already. I don't know why, and now the thing is stuck going over here. This is the motion with just letting the shiatsu motor do its thing. The controller's stuck on, everything's like freaked out. So the thing died on me here, and it didn't even load the correct sequence anyways. What I had to do before was unplug and replug this back in. Let's try it again. Okay, now the electrocution thing is loaded up. I need to connect. Try it again. And immediately crashes. I don't get it. I'm just having the worst luck with this thing. This prop is just a f***ing nightmare. I don't know why that's happening. It worked one time before. So when the power isn't actually connected to the relays, I think is when it works. So there is an electrical issue here. Let's try again. Yeah, there's some kind of feedback that's like causing this thing to freak out. I can run it as long as I don't have the AC running through the relays. This works. But that does me absolutely no good. So I don't know why this thing is causing a reset, and my wiring is right. So I'm gonna connect this. This is the AC power that controls the shiatsu motor. Plug that in, run that sequence, and it's gonna crash on me as soon as it hits the relay for the shiatsu motor, this one, right there. Now it's not gonna crash. But the controller died. I don't get it. Yeah, it's really just not fun. I'm almost tempted to just let it do this. So we're back to square one again, yay. Obviously the motor can handle it, it's doing it. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. I may have to go back on the forums and try to figure out what the problem is, because I just don't understand. Because now the controller board is just, it's stuck on. Those relays are left on, and the thing is just running. And it's not a problem for the motor, it's doing it. I don't know. I don't know what I need in here to make this stop happening, but I need something. All right, it says PIR ready. I'm gonna trigger it. My flashing light comes on, and then crash. So I'm trying one other thing. I've plugged the power supply into the Arduino along with the USB, so I don't know where it's drawing power from, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference. Immediately crashes. It's almost like the AC power, once it gets switched by the relay, is sending a feedback all the way that's going back through the USB cable into the USB port, causing it to disconnect. I wonder if that's what's happening, and that's why the software is dying. So I'm gonna keep this window here open, keep an eye on this while the 4-banger software runs, and see if that flickers out of existence. No, it's still there. So I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Frustrating. I was able to actually get the air box popped open, and this is what's happening. The COM port is disappearing. COM port 37 does not exist. So I just ran a little test here. I swapped out the 9-volt DC 1 amp, which is what I've been using, with 9-volt DC 0.4 or 400 milliamps. And I'm seeing something that as soon as the relay is triggered, it dies. You'll see right here. That's it. It just reset. All the things done. The circuit reset. So I'm thinking that maybe 1 amp isn't enough. I'm thinking maybe I need more, or I'm overloading the Arduino's ability to supply power to these relays, which makes no friggin' sense. The other idea that I have is to run a separate power supply for the relays. So I'll power the Arduino with one, and then run another power supply in here and power up the relays. This is the relay board. I've disconnected the power and the ground that are coming from the Arduino right here. So all this mess. And I'm gonna replace that now with this. We'll run this off of this and have this connect to its own power supply and see what that does. So I've replaced the wires right here, disconnected. Connected these. Taped it up. I'm gonna go ahead and connect a power cable to this. Give it another shot and see what happens. Alright, so this does not work at all. The relays never power up and do anything. Don't know why. Unless I have the polarity reversed. Maybe that's it. I don't think so. When I trigger the PIR, the relays never come on. Nothing. As I've researched online and found out other people have had similar issues with this relay drawing too much power from the Arduino, and they've been having reset problems, not necessarily in this particular project, but in just various Arduino projects altogether. This particular relay board drawing 200 milliamps per relay. So when all 4 are on, that's 800 milliamps. So that only gives me 200 left over to drive the Arduino. So what I decided to do, based on suggestions from David ABD over in the Haunt forums, thank you very much, David, really appreciate the help, was to, like I did yesterday, try to power the relay separately. But I was doing it, first of all, with a 9-volt, and the relay boards are 5 volts. So I'm kind of glad that didn't work. So anyway, what I decided to do was use one of these little USB charger dealies. This puts out 5 volts DC 1000 milliamps, so that's 1 amp, 5 volts, and I've hacked up this USB cord. And coming out of this, we have power. Then we have a ground. This is a ground, that's a ground, and that's a ground. And the reason this didn't work yesterday is because I need to have the ground connected to the Arduino here, to the relay board here, and also to the Arduino. Basically the ground has to be shared between this for the stuff to work. Now the other part of this is, there's a little jumper up here that says JD, VCC, and VCC, and what this does is takes this power coming in, jumpers it over, and sends it to the relays. Alright, so what you can do here is, when I took this off, I noticed yesterday when I took that off, the relays wouldn't fire. So it's also been suggested in other videos that I connect my power right to this, and then that way that will drive just the relays, and the Arduino can power the rest of this stuff. So I'm gonna do that. Let's hook up my cable and hope this thing doesn't blow up, or maybe in this case hope it does, because I am sick of this project, really sick of it, more so than the pumpkins. It's very frustrating this thing doesn't work. When it worked on the bench, it worked over here in the chair for a while. Now it just doesn't work correctly at all. It keeps dying. The circuit keeps getting reset, so I may have fried something, and if I did, I'll swap the relay board out for another one. I've got extras, give it another shot, and if that doesn't work, this whole thing is gonna go back on with this shiatsu motor, and I'm gonna use the old controller that I used to use for this, which was just a sound activated controller, and we'll just run the prop that way, and the guy will spin in circles, and that'll be good enough, because I really am lost patience for this. Hello!
Hi!
Happy Memorial Day!
Thank you, honey, you too.
We're having fun today, I am. Alright, so I realized that I made one extra ground wire, which I don't need, so we're not going to use that. Here comes a ground wire out of here. This brown wire. That's getting jumpered into the ground wire that's going back into the Arduino, splitting that off into this one here, the gray wire. That's all connected inside there as ground. So power up here, ground over here, right here, and split off and into the Arduino. So hopefully the damn thing will blow up. What do you know? It works. So we have the relays on a separate power supply and the Arduino on a separate power supply. Let's see if that fixes my problem. Nope. That did not solve the problem. The thing is still getting reset. Maybe this thing is just bad and drawing a shit ton of amperage. I don't know. It's supposed to be 0.3 amps. 0.3. Great. So that doesn't work. So for the purposes of just being thorough, I put the jumper back on, ran the power directly into where the Arduino is connected. You can see the wire is loose right here. And it's the same shit. It's just not completing the sequence. So either this thing has gone bad, or this thing has gone bad, or this thing has gone bad, and I don't know which it is, but either way it's a pain in the ass, whichever one it is. I don't know. Unless the amperage draw is too much for these contacts. But why the Arduino is resetting, I don't know. I've disconnected the load from the relays. That should work. The stuff works then when there's no load on the relays. Maybe it's the motor or the relay board. I'm trying to lean towards there's something wrong with this shiatsu motor. Took another one, plugged it into the supply here that's supposed to be the beacon, disconnected the leads here so that this shiatsu motor doesn't trigger at all, and now we've got this going off. It's almost the same thing, but now it doesn't crap out on me. So I think what's actually happening here is this thing is drawing a bunch more amperage than these relays are rated for. It's just my best guess. And it's causing that board to reset, which is somehow resetting the program in the Arduino, or resetting the Arduino completely. I think it's pretty obvious, since this one works, doing basically the same thing. I mean, I'm not reversing, but still, what difference does it make? It's just a draw. Maybe normally open is rated at a certain amperage and normally close is rated at another. I don't know. Might be that. So what I think I'm going to do is just dump this. Get rid of this one, or at least pull the motor out of it. This is completely different, of course, and I can't get this one off for the life of me, which of course is, I'll have to flip this around backwards to use this so it fits in the positioning for this, and all, it's just another nightmare. Have to build a whole new connection for the spine. But this motor, I think, is just crap. Maybe I burned it out. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to give it some resistance. I can't stop it. And it's not killing the circuit, so I guess that was the problem. Probably don't need all this other crap I wired on here either. To further prove the point, I reconnected just one direction here. This one's still loose, not connected, so we've got the motor set up to go only one direction, and I'm still getting the same behavior. It'll come on and go, and then die. Current draw must be just way off the chart. 0.3 supposedly, but it's obviously drawn a lot more than that if these are rated for 10 amps. When I change the leads here and have the motor now running the other direction only, that does not appear to reset the Arduino. Maybe these relays are only rated for amperage over normally open or normally closed, but not both. I didn't really see that in the specs. It wasn't specified, but I have seen that on other relays where they're rated higher for normally open than they are for normally closed. So maybe that's the problem. Here we go. That's the first direction. There's the second one. That's first. Doesn't die. So if I want to spin around that direction, everything's great. Okay, so I talked to my very nice next door neighbor, Jason, and he let me borrow his much more sophisticated meter. This is his, that's mine. His measures AC amperage, because I want to know why this thing doesn't work. It's not enough just to swap it out for something else. I want to make sure. I want to know that that's the reason. And if it shows that the amperage is drawing the correct amount, then I won't know. I'm going to give out and swap the motor out. 3.9 milliamps. It's not overloading, so that is not the problem. It's not too much amperage for the relay, unless that particular relay has gone bad. Can't see how. What I think's happened here, educated guess, uneducated, is that this relay is failing. I'm getting resistance when I shouldn't have any reading at all. 194? Why am I getting 194 ohms of resistance over two contacts that aren't touching? I don't get it anywhere else. Don't get it on this relay, get it on this one, don't get it on this first one either. This one here, I get 194 ohms of resistance. Even more now. Why is that? Those shouldn't have any continuity at all. Normally closed with 0. That should be no reading. And they're getting 194 here. I don't get that here. Don't get that here. Don't get that here. I think this relay is bad. These black wires are the forward and reverse. So maybe there's like weird arcing or shit going on in here. Maybe that's where I'm getting that sound from too, over my speakers. What happens if I disconnect both of those up here? Maybe there's some kind of connection inside this little thing up here. And now it's 0. And so is this. There's that 194. So it's not the relay. What is this thing here? Let's find out. This is normally how my props go. This is a capacitor. I wish Dave AVD was here. Probably get this shit figured out in a jiffy. Coming off of that is this and this. It is a capacitor. The voltage is slowly dropping out of it. It's not the relay. It's not the amperage. I just don't understand what it is. So let's take apart another one. This one, the only one I have left. This one that I just plugged into this over here, and it worked fine. Of course, it wasn't having to go back and forth. Let's take it apart and see what it does. Hook it up the same way. As you can see on the inside, these things are all pretty much the same thing. It's virtually identical. Looks like even the same capacitor. Alright, what am I doing wrong here? Oh my god. It's not even connectors. It's just soldered on there. Should do it. Gotta feel like we were here 2 weeks ago. Because we were. It's a nice meter. All digital and stuff. 87 ohms of resistance for some reason. Wonder what that's all about. My shitty wiring. I did this wrong. That's why. Thank God I checked this. Okay, that should be right. 0 ohms, perfect. Okay, now it's wired correctly. I know this is a big mess and not very safe and all that bullshit, but I don't really care right now. I'll clean it all up if it works. Number 2. Oh, you gotta be f***ing kidding me, dude. Nope. No good on this motor either, guys. So, at this point, I'm really at a loss for what's wrong with this thing. I do not know. It didn't complete the sequence. Nope, won't do it. I have separate power. I've tried 2 different shiatsu motors. The only thing left here is maybe the relay's bad, and I can't see how. I am completely at a loss. I thought for sure this would fix the problem. Alright, I know we're having a lot of problems, and I know this was a really long video, but fear not, there's a solution, and we'll get to it in the next one. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications when I make future videos. And leave some comments. Tell me what you think the problem is. I'd love to hear it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Happy
Memorial Day weekend.
Start over. This just happened from here. Yay. Alright, so I loaded in another... That's shit. What? It erased my whole thing? And I just shut off my thing upstairs. What the hell? Oh, is that why? It's in here. Maybe that's... I didn't copy that controller folder. Ugh. Alright, let me turn my computer back on upstairs and copy that file over here. This thing. Crash. Bad. This is not good.